Play ball! Blue 22!
You are watching Sports and Sorts live on YouTube. That's 75% sports, 25% sorts. And here are your hosts, Shane and the Bry Man.
It's just you. It's happening. There we go. All right. Okay. It's normal. It's so weird not having the sound in my head. My son had to use the computer today, so that was a little bit of a hiccup when it came to the technical side. Technical difficulties always happening on this show. We are flying by the seat of our pants. Hey, Clint, let me know if you heard the intro to the show loud and clear. Because I know you're watching. You have to be the only one that's watching right now. Because you're the only one that contacted me to see what time we were going live. So I'd like to know if you could put in the comments that, yes, you heard the show loud and clear, the show's intro at the very beginning. So if you have to, just scroll back to the beginning and let me know. All right, so we have a few things we're going to talk about today, as it was posted in the comments or in the title and the description. We are going to be talking about Gronk heading back to Tom Brady, because he's not going to be with the Patriots. He's going to be with Tom Brady. We're also going to be doing a little pre-draft, NFL pre-draft show here. Oh, Brian Man's trying the iced coffee. Fantastic. I got my hot coffee here.
Yep.
Yeah. Still not iced coffee weather for me. I know it's always iced coffee weather for you, but
Yeah.
we'll be talking about the pre-draft. I'm gonna get into a couple of Bills things. You know, I'm heavy on the wide receiver side when it comes to Bills. I know they got Diggs, huge addition, but I still want another receiver. I feel like we got our tight end for the future. I think Dawson Knox is going to be a beast.
I think the Bills want the big receiver. You want the big guy. You want the big, deep threat who can go up, take a ball from somebody.
6'5", jumps through the roof.
Yeah,
has good hands.
You want your Megatron kind of. I mean,
yeah. Hey,
good luck getting that. But
Randy Moss. Let's get Randy Moss.
I mean, you want that guy. Everybody wants that guy. So the Dolphins have that guy, which is nice.
Devontae Parker?
Yes.
Hey, Clint.
Finally, it took them a few years, but they have him.
He said, "Hey guys, let me know if you can hear the intro, the show intro, well at the beginning of the show. I'd appreciate it if you could let me know that. I know there's a little bit of a delay, but hopefully you can let me know if you heard that okay. Because I'm trying a new soundboard. If that's the case, if you heard it well, I will definitely continue to use the soundboard. If you did not, I will not use the soundboard. And I'm getting a print. Here you go. Oh, there's 3 prints." This is the new pandemic situation we're in here, where I am in the middle of homeschooling. So my wife is printing off some printouts so that we can continue the process. Trust the process.
Oh boy.
The Philadelphia 76ers. Trust the process. All right. Let's get into the show. We're going to talk. I'm going to use it here because I haven't heard from Clint yet. But
there's one thing I would like to do when we get to.
It's probably loud. So hold on. Give it a second. Give it a second. I have the NFL theme playing. So yeah. I mean, I don't know what you're going to say. Can you scroll back to the beginning of the intro? Just go to the back and then come back here where you were, please. I beg of you. Can you hear the? How about can you hear the NFL thing right now? That'd be awesome too. Any of that would be good. All right, what did you got? What do you got?
No, I just want to say when we're done talking about Gronk and when we get to the NFL draft thing, I think we should each make a prediction for who our team will draft. Now it's maybe a little harder for you because the Bills are in the 18 range, so it's kind of tough to predict what would even remotely be there. It'll be tough for me too, actually, even at 5. And there's 5, 18, and 26. I will give you my best. I'll give you my best predictions for those 3 picks. Okay, I will do that.
I have a few guys that I want the Bills to draft.
Okay,
Maybe at least a couple.
All right. Well, you can do whatever you want.
I'll just give a couple guys. And
I'll give my predictions for 5.
It is tougher for me because I don't have 14 first-round picks like you.
Munchkin.
So it'll be a little more difficult. But yeah, let's see where we're at. Let's see where we're at. Okay. So first thing we're going to be talking about here is Gronk. And the thing with Gronk is...
Raise your hand if you're surprised.
How about
Anytime Tom Brady walks on a field, you are well within your right to throw a big floppy on that field.
Yeah, and that big floppy thing is Gronkowski. He's going to be coming back on the field. And I'm actually... So, hear me out. I'm actually excited for this. I am actually... Especially the stuff he knows.
I told you, she's nasally.
Yeah, she's a little nasally.
She's very nasally.
It's okay. It's all right. It's good.
Anyways, go ahead.
So, all right. So, thank you, Clint, for doing that. Anyway, so I'm actually excited for Gronk to come back for a couple of reasons. One, if there was ever a character on the Patriots that was kind of lovable, it would have been Gronkowski, just because he is a goofball. He is so not what the Patriots are. And I think that he is one of those guys that is incredibly talented, super talented. And I would like to see him play with Tom Brady without Bill Belichick. And I want to see how that works out. And this is what we're going to get. We're going to get it. Brady absolutely needs a security blanket now. He's going into his 43rd year of life?
Yes.
So, sorry, Brian. So he's going into his 43rd year of life. And I checked with Brian because they have the same exact birth date. They were born at the same time. I believe even the same, down to the same second.
I can't confirm that. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know.
Of life. One eats kale ice cream. The other one
eats ice cream.
Ice cream. So I'm actually excited for this because we're going to get to see Gronk and Brady again. And we'll get to see Gronk. We'll get to see him in warm weather pretty much year round. And I think it's going to be a fun year for Tampa. I think Tampa's going to the playoffs. I'm saying it now. I do think they're going to make the playoffs. And I don't think it's just going to be because of Tom Brady. Yes, having that person come into the fold that with that reputation is going to help their clubhouse, and but overall, I think with the addition of Gronk, that right there is going to propel them, because now you have two surefire Hall of Famers on your team, basically leading the charge. And then you have all of these other players, younger players, that are going to be like, wow. And they have a powerful offense. I do think Tom Brady is going to probably have one of his better years. Maybe not with picks. He might throw more picks. He might get sacked more. But I do think he's going to have one of those years where he's going to throw about 4,500 yards or more. He's probably going to throw close to 40 touchdowns because he's going to have to. And I think he's going to take his team to the playoffs. It might be a 10-6 or a 9-7 playoff team, but he's going to take his team to the playoffs. And I think that it's going to put a little bit of gasoline on the fire for the Patriots, because I think the Patriots are going to, they might even finish third in their division this coming year. And it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. It's going to be a short-term success thing for Tampa, I believe, and it'll be probably a longer-term success for the Patriots after they do what they do. A lot of people are saying that the Patriots got a little bit fleeced on the trade, but I don't think so, because there was nothing else they could get for Gronk. Gronk, they couldn't afford Gronk right now. They don't have the cap room. They can't. Gronk did not want to play there. He wouldn't have come back. Why not get what you can get? He's not in your division. He's not going to hurt you. You're not going to meet him in the playoffs. So why not? What do you think?
Two things sprung to mind when this trade happened. One, shocking. Except not even remotely shocking. I mean, is anybody even a little bit surprised that Rob Gronkowski is back in the NFL? I'm not. But the other thing that sort of sprung to mind, actually, I guess there were three things. One was no surprise. Two was, if Tom Brady has even anything left in the tank, that's going to be some offense because he's got weapons. Now, now this does create, obviously, a bit of a tight end logjam because now you've got Gronk, you've got O.J. Howard, you've got Cameron Brate. Now, I would not. There were all kinds of things out there yesterday.
Two tight end set.
There were all these ideas. Well, somebody's got to be the odd man out, Brate or Howard. Okay, hold on. First of all, Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady are not in this for the long haul. This is 2 years at best for both of them. Well, it's definitely 2 years for Brady.
Learn what you can off of this guy, And
I would say it's probably. I would say these guys, their fates and their timing is tied together. They will come and go at the same time. Title of your sex tape, and
that's a great one.
Yeah, it's not bad. They're going to leave together. Okay, so if you're the Bucks, getting rid of O.J. Howard is not an option. I would hold on to him. Also, like you said, put them in a 2 tight end set, and then you've got Mike Evans on one side, who in my opinion is a top 5 receiver in this league, and then you've got Chris Godwin, who is an up-and-coming receiver in this league. This guy, you could argue, maybe not successfully, or it'd be tough, but you could definitely argue that Tom Brady has the most weapons he's ever had. And good. Really good ones. Now, the one issue for the Bucks, and they're in an interesting position when it comes to the draft, because I think they desperately need a running back. I don't even know who their starting running back is right now. Is it like Barber? Or I'm not even sure off the top of my head who their
It doesn't matter. Whoever it is going to get. He's actually going to benefit from this.
Well, I agree because the Patriots will probably be pretty spread out, and it should open running lanes for the running back. But if I were the Bucks, now see they draft 14th. 14th is tough. That's not a position that's not where you draft a running back. Even if you absolutely love a running back, you do not go and get DeAndre Swift there. Now I do think I haven't looked at the Bucks' 2nd round pick. Maybe I should take a look at that because that's probably where I would, if I were going to. Let me take a look. I'll tell you real quick where the Bucks pick. They have the 45th pick. You know what? That puts them in a good spot to grab a running back. Now, you're not going to get DeAndre Swift there, but you could be looking at Cam Akers in that area. You could be looking at Jonathan Taylor in that area. I don't think you're going to be able to get J.K. Dobbins. He's going to I don't know. I shouldn't say that, actually. 45 is right in the sweet spot. So if I were the Bucks, and you stay at 14, you could probably grab yourself a really good offensive lineman, possibly a tackle, somebody to protect Brady, although I don't know what their left tackle situation is right now. But you probably don't want a rookie protecting Brady's blind spot. But you could definitely get a top of the top 4, let's say, offensive lineman / tackle in this draft at that 14 spot. And then at 45, grab yourself a running back. And if I'm Brady, I want a dual threat back. I want a guy who can be a check down option for me. Because again, I don't know what Brady's arm strength is left. I don't know how much left he's got in the tank. You want him to have that kind of a safety valve out of the backfield. So but I like where the Bucks are at. Do I think they're Super Bowl contenders? I can't say that. It's just let's give this some time. Also, we have no idea what the season is going to be like next year. There's another question I actually want to ask you when we talk about the NFL draft portion. So here's the third thing that popped into my head. And Joe Thomas actually said it yesterday too. I think he tweeted about it, but it was ironic because it was one of the first things that popped in my head was, boy, some of these guys just wanted to get away from Belichick. Brady said on Howard Stern he knew at the beginning of the year he was not coming back. And now you have Gronk, who goes into retirement, is gone for a full season, comes back, and is now ready to play again, gets traded by the Pats to Tampa Bay. And I hate that. Tampa Brady, Tampa Bay. I think he's trying to trademark those things. What an egomaniac. Unbelievable. But anyways, yeah, he is. He's. So now that just tells me though these guys wanted to get away from Belichick. I mean, at some point, I know the winning trumps all, but at some point, I think the Bill Belichick act wears very thin with a lot of these guys. So those were the things that popped into my head about Gronk. I think that pretty much covers it.
Okay.
For me. Anything else for you?
No, I think that you pretty much covered it all. I mean, that was a pretty in-depth also. I mean, I think I covered what I needed to cover. I think you covered what you needed to cover. Now, Clint says Fournette to the Bucs. I think that could be interesting. He is a very solid option, and that would
little injury
really,
prone,
but that would really alleviate some issue.
Well,
because I think they could protect him a little bit. They could protect him. They have the one thing with Fournette,
it would give them a veteran presence.
And the other thing is that one thing, the reason why he was so injury prone in Jacksonville is because he had zero protection. I mean, you're talking 12 in the box a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they haven't had a quarterback in forever. So therefore he's going to get punished with this offense. Mm-hmm. He's going to have some wide open lanes. So it could be really beneficial for him. And if they do, he's going to be a 1,200 yard rusher. Easy.
Here's a question. What's the cost?
Barring health.
What's the cost?
I don't know. I mean, they have so many, they could offer, a tight end. They have a multitude of tight ends. They could offer.
Well, they could offer, they could offer Cameron Brate and a draft pick.
Yeah. And I'm sure the Jacksonville Jaguars would take that in a heartbeat. I don't know what draft pick. I don't know what the draft pick availability is for the Bucs right now, but I think that is a good option. That's a really.
I think it's possible.
Yeah,
I think it's possible. Jacksonville's got so many problems right now that they have to figure out what to do with Yannick Ngakoue, because that Twitter battle that is playing out between him and
I don't know anything about it. Tell me about it.
And the general manager there in Jacksonville is just what an absolute fucking embarrassment for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not suited. This is not suited for kids, this program. What an embarrassment. Before the NFL draft, to have this playing out on Twitter, that just speaks to how piss poorly your organization is run. Because Yannick Ngakoue wants to be traded. We all know that. Okay. And he's a premier player in this league. And he wants out of Jacksonville. If you're now listen, players are going to be dumb. They're going to go out. They're going to say stupid stuff on Twitter because they can. But if you are the general manager of the Jacksonville Jaguars, you cannot fire back. You gotta just not say anything. You gotta just let it go. I'm sorry. You're not doing yourself any favors. You're embarrassing your franchise. I mean, they're both embarrassing the franchise, but Ngakoue is going to be gone. So does it really matter for him? He does not care. Although he is hurting his brand too, though. He's hurting himself because he's making himself look like a terrible headache that no other team would want to trade for, and his value's going down. So it's not good for him either, but I think it's also really dumb for a general manager to engage with a player like that on social media. That's just bad form. Let's put it that way.
So you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So now we will let's shift topics, and we're going to head on over if there's nothing else to be talked about with Gronkowski and the Tampa Brady veneers.
The thing that I am most excited for.
The NFL draft. And I will play this once again because why not? So we have the NFL draft coming up, and that is the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time of year for the Brine Man and most of the country, really, when it comes down to it. Everybody loves their NFL draft. They are a big fan, and I personally don't really watch it much. I'll probably watch the Bills' first pick, and that's about it. But we'll get into some. How about this? Do your quick preview of the draft, and then we'll get into some picks and stuff like that we want for our teams. Like, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. You're a Miami Dolphins fan, obviously. I do not have my Buffalo Bills jersey on. I'm actually wearing GNR, little Guns N' Roses. Titleist. I'm sporting some other.
I'm not going to repeat the stuff that I said on Friday night about the Dolphins being in the national spotlight, because we all know they are. They've got three. Well, yeah. Well, we all know the Dolphins have 3 picks in the first round, assuming they don't trade up or down to get themselves either more or less if they want to trade back into the top 10, which I'm starting to see.
Oh,
some
and if you
rumors
want
about.
to see that show, you can just click back on the YouTube channel. You got to go to YouTube and just type in Sports and Sorts in the YouTube search section, and you can find us, and then you can find our latest shows all on YouTube. They're all there.
That is correct. Listen, you know how excited I always am for the NFL draft. It is one of my favorite spectacles. It's my favorite, as I call it, my favorite non-athletic sporting event. I think there's such high drama. The months leading up to the draft are thankfully now in the rearview mirror because just the speculation and the smoke, the bullshit and the lies and the smoke screen. I'm choking on the smoke, honestly. It's just too much. Because nobody tells the truth this time of year. And why would they? Nobody's giving anything away. But I'm excited for this for obviously, a couple reasons. One, this is not hyperbole. I believe this is truly the most important draft in Dolphins history. I believe that. Because everything they did last year was to set themselves up for this draft and for this offseason. They made a big splash in free agency. They were one of, if not the biggest spenders, and they still have a decent amount of cap room. They were big spenders this year. And now you go into a draft still with a number of holes to fill on your team, but with a chance with 3 first-round picks to grab 3 starters. Well, probably 2 immediate starters and 1 hopefully future quarterback of the future. Because whoever they draft at quarterback, regardless of who it is not going to start this year. They will sit on the bench and they will watch and they will sit behind Ryan Fitzpatrick unless Fitzpatrick gets hurt or unless it gets to the end of the season and the Dolphins are terrible and there's no reason to play Fitzpatrick and you want to get the kid in. That would be another option. Mm-hmm. So we'll get to that later. But I am excited. This is going to also be extremely bizarre and really unprecedented because we are living in the time of coronavirus, COVID-19, and the atmosphere for the draft is not going to be anything like it's ever been. It's going to be Roger Goodell in his basement, not getting booed by
in
thousands
his bunker.
Of fans.
Let's let it real.
Yeah.
He's going to be in his bunker,
in his compound, in his his estate, his palatial estate. I'm sure it's going to be quite the background scene. It's not going to be like me here, where you got a couple of Funko Pops and a few autographed mini helmets. I'm sure he's going to have quite the elaborate background. But I'm excited for it. I really am. The anticipation is just starting to well up. It's going to be interesting theater too, because I'm interested to see how, just from a television production perspective, they're going to maneuver it too. I mean, are we just going to be looking at Roger Goodell's face for 3 hours? And is he fielding phone calls? What's the production going to be like? Are they going to bounce around to different quote unquote war rooms, which will of course just be, people's houses, obviously. No, it'll be different. It'll be very different. I mean, is this what we wanted? No,
Are they going to bounce around from Zoom meeting to Zoom meeting?
Yeah, right, exactly.
And will it be password protected?
Yeah. Oh my God, can you imagine this thing getting hacked? Oh my God. I can't even imagine that would be. I mean, imagine like porn just shows up in the middle of the draft.
Oh man!
And then you get like they cut to the the rainbow colored bars and they're like we are having technical difficulties.
Oh, you know what I did? What I forgot to put in the thing? I forgot to put something in the thing. The thing. I keep saying the thing, like you know what I'm talking about. I forgot to put The Last Dance in the thing.
Mm. Oh. Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do that while you're talking. Sorry to cut you off.
Stuffing my face with munchkins.
Yeah, and Clint wants to know.
Yeah.
Is that a pumpkin spice latte?
No, it's Irish cream. Yeah, I like the Irish cream one from Dunkin'. It's good.
Actually, my favorite pumpkin spice is the one from Nespresso.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
it's really good. The Nespresso pumpkin spice. I think
Nespresso stuff's pretty awesome.
It's called pumpkin spice crust. I don't know. It was something weird, but it was like pumpkin pie spice. That's what it was. I think it was delicious.
Yeah.
That was delicious. And then there was, I just had the American custard pie or the vanilla custard pie. I had that. That was also good. I had that yesterday. I only use those for like flavored coffees, really. I'm going to try the hazelnut muffin one later today.
That sounds good too.
All right, go ahead. And we're also going to be talking about The Last Dance today. I forgot to mention that at the top of the show, I think. And I did forget to mention that in the Facebook. But I didn't put a Facebook post. But yeah, we're going to be talking about The Last Dance as well. We're going to talk about that briefly at the end. All right, go ahead, Brad.
Okay. Well, so do you want me to do you want me to talk about what I think the Dolphins are going to do?
Just get into the who do you think the first? Because when did the Dolphins pick? What was the pick? 6?
5.
5. So
5, 18, and 26.
Get into what you think the top 5 picks are going to be, and then and then go from there, and then we'll go into your Dolphin picks, and then we'll go into the Bills picks, and then we'll. I
honestly think that 1 through 4. I mean, I think they're gonna kind of be chalk as far as what's being predicted. I think, listen, if you think anybody that Joe Burrow is going first to the Bengals, you're nuts, because it's not. They're not going to trade out of that pick. Forget all the crap that you've heard. Forget all the bullshit. The Cincinnati Bengals, with that first pick, are unequivocally taking Joe Burrow. They would be out of their damn gourds to do anything other than that. And their fan base would you want to talk about a mutiny? Oh my God. That would be, I mean, they would just be throwing themselves off of whatever bridge there is in Ohio into a river. So believe me when I tell you, that's happening. Unless they are overwhelmed by a trade, and I can't even imagine what it would cost to move up to that number 1 spot. But they're taking him. Number 2, I cannot imagine any scenario where the Washington Redskins, who are coached by a defensive-minded guy in Riverboat Ron Rivera, I'm sorry, I can't picture a situation where you don't take a potential elite future Hall of Fame defensive end in Chase Young. That guy, his speed, his motor, his will, I just can't imagine a team like the Redskins passing up on him. I can't see it. I cannot see it. With the 3rd pick, I don't see a scenario here. Now, the Lions could be overwhelmed by a trade, but the Lions also have an incredible need at cornerback after letting Darius Slade go. So, Darius Slay, excuse me. And who better to fill that void than the All-American cornerback from Ohio State, Jeffrey Okudah? Why would you not? Why? I mean, you want to talk about puzzle pieces fitting together beautifully. Jeffrey Okudah in Detroit seems like a slam dunk. Again, I think the Giants are another trade down candidate. But the Giants have some big time needs, especially on that offensive line. And I think they give themselves the opportunity to grab possibly the best offensive tackle available in this draft. It's up for debate. I mean, there's a lot of there's kind of 3 or 4 guys who are sort of in the discussion as the best offensive tackle. Jedrick Wills, Andrew Thomas. I think Mekhi Becton is in that discussion, and Tristan Wirfs is in that discussion. And I think Jedrick Wills is going to be the Giants selection. And I think Giant fans would be very happy with that. They have a massive need there on that offensive line, which underperformed drastically, and Tim Callahan would tell you that for sure, in a heartbeat. So I think the Giants stay put, don't trade out. I think they take that. Now here's where we get to number 5 in the Miami Dolphins. And look, I am, as a Dolphins fan, a very, very scarred and very beaten and tattered. And like most Dolphin fans, we have suffered through mediocrity for over 20 years. And I believe that this franchise has proven, regardless of who has been general manager, who has been senior vice president of football operations, who has been the head coach, sometimes even ownership. This Miami Dolphins franchise has shown time and time again that they step on their own feet constantly. They overthink things constantly. They cannot get out of their own way constantly. If you are on Twitter like I am daily, 85, and this is not an exaggeration, 85% of Dolphin fans want to hear one name and one name only called at that number 5 pick. And you know who it is. I know who it is. Every Dolphins fan, pretty much, wants to hear the words Tua Tagovailoa. But let me tell you what's going to happen with that number 5 pick. They're not going to pick him. They are going to fuck this up because this is what the Miami Dolphins do. They fuck shit up. Chris Grier and Brian Flores do not give a rat's ass about what Dolphin fans think or want. And look, if you're a Dolphin fan, you know it's Tua no matter what. That's an actual hashtag that's going out there on Twitter right now. Hashtag Tua no matter what. And it's ones that Dolphin fans are putting up. But the Dolphins are going to fuck this up. And they're going to fuck it up royally. They're going to fuck this up royally. And I'm going to have my hands in my head in my hands all night on Thursday, tomorrow night, probably around 8:40 or 8:50. I'm going to just be sitting there curled up, crying, because they are going to select with that pick an offensive tackle from Georgia by the name of Andrew Thomas, who, by all means, is a very good player, an excellent player. Probably he's one of the top 2,
a first rounder in any other draft for the Dolphins.
Offensive tackle, okay? He's in, and he'll be a guy that they can insert probably right away, and he'll be a starter on that offensive line. But the Dolphins have fucked up for 20 years, and that is going to continue. I've said this before, if you're a Dolphins fan, we can't have nice things. We just can't. It's in our DNA to be cursed and to suck and to fuck up. And they are not going to select. Sorry, Dolphin fans, because and I hate this because so many Dolphin fans want this so badly. I remember quite a few years ago, when a lot of Dolphin fans wanted Brady Quinn, my brother and myself included. And what did the Dolphins do with that pick? They took Ted Ginn and his entire family. Now, ironically, as it turned out, that was, at least in the long term, a better pick. Ted Ginn has had a very reputable and solid NFL career, and Brady Quinn was out of the NFL in a matter of years, a couple of years. But this isn't even close. When you talk about, now, first of all, Twitter, I don't think was quite the thing, if it was even a thing when Brady Quinn was selected. I don't even remember. But social media was not quite the thing that it is now. And the desire for Brady Quinn doesn't even scratch the surface of how badly Miami Dolphin fans want Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa is looked at as the savior for this franchise. And Chris Grier is going to overthink this, and he's going to fuck it up. And so is Brian Flores. They're going to fuck it up. I have every reason to believe that, because that's all this franchise does, is fuck shit up. This will be no different. And Dolphin fans are going to be stewing for about, at least an hour before that next pick comes along. They're going to be sitting there, pissed off at the world, stewing, and just, oh my God, social media is going to be lit, as the kids say.
I think this is 2 parts, the Bryman doing his thing where he anticipates the worst and hopes for the best. And then eight parts of the Dolphins just have continually beaten you down to the point of where you're just certain that that's going to actually happen.
But
now the other thing is, if
In my defense, though, am I wrong?
No, you're not. And this is what I want to say.
Yeah.
If there will be a Friday show at some point, even if it's for 15 minutes.
Oh, so you can get my reaction? See if my tears have dried?
I might, either way, if they get Tua or if they decide to go with somebody else, whether it be an offensive tackle or a Justin Herbert or something along those lines, I might want to just have you come on, and that show will just strictly be about your joy or your complete disgust with the Dolphins. Yeah. That's what we might do. We might do that.
Okay.
Because I won't have as much of a, unless they get one of the couple of guys that I'm looking at, I probably won't have much to say. Because even if they get these guys, I'm going to be kind of like, all right, now let's got to see what they got.
And what's going to make this worse, because I'm just going to run through the top 10. What's going to make this worse is that with the 6th pick, the Chargers are going to take Tua Tagovailoa, and Dolphin fans are going to be even more pissed off at the world.
Yeah,
and we'll have every right to be.
Should be.
The Panthers at that point are going to be like, "Wow, how did this work out for us? We got Isaiah Simmons, the linebacker from Clemson, to drop and fall right into our laps." Because Isaiah Simmons, that guy has future All-Pro written all over him.
Is Kuechly still like? Is he still under contract and everything? He's not a free agent or anything, right? He's still got some time under his belt with the Panthers.
Kuechly, Luke Kuechly, retired.
He did?
Yeah.
Due to concussions?
Yeah.
Wow.
Remember, he retired? Yeah, at the beginning of the season. The beginning of the offseason.
Yeah. No, I didn't even.
Yep.
I have not paid attention. As soon as the NFL season was over, I have not paid attention.
That's why the need is there too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Because I was thinking if he was still there, talk about like having a brain to like just absorb as a sponge. That'd be tremendous. That'd be tremendous for him and his growth.
And I think at 8, then you get into the Cardinals. I think they're looking at offensive tackle. These offensive tackles are going to go fast. And I see either Mekhi Becton or Tristan Wirfs going here. Mm-hmm. Maybe just for the sake of being a little different, I'll say Becton.
Okay.
The Jags are the 9th pick. They need help they need help everywhere. I mean, they need help on that defensive line. Ngakoue's going to be gone.
They got rid of their best defensive player. They have no quarterback. They are soon probably not going to have a running back.
Here's the thing. They lost Calais Campbell.
I don't think it really matters with the Jags.
They lost – hold on. So the Jags lost Calais Campbell and Marcel Darius, and now you don't have Yannick Ngakoue either as an edge setter. But their defensive line is in shambles. They have to take Derek Brown, the defensive tackle from Auburn. They have to. I mean, I don't even know what choice they would have. I mean, and they are so desperate.
They're done
for help on that line.
I don't even think we need to
They
spend
are
any
going
more
to be
time
one
on
of they are going to be one of the worst teams of football.
They have turned into Florida, man.
Which is ironic because if you'd said that like 2 years ago, looking at their team, you'd have been like, this team is set up for future success. Mm-hmm. And they crumbled quick.
Terrible.
And then I'll say that the Browns also need help on their offensive line. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest.
They got to protect them, yeah.
They got to protect Baker, and I think at that point they'll take Tristan Wirfs. I could see Wirfs and Mekhi Becton flip-flopping here, but one would be 8, one would be 10, but that's where I see it going.
Cool.
Now, do you want me to jump ahead to 18 with the Dolphins' 2nd pick?
Nah, we don't have time for that. So we're gonna get into.
Well, I did say that I would give you the other 2 Dolphin picks, so I'll just do it real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
18. This is where they're going to take their quarterback, and it's going to feel like a consolation prize. It's going to be Jordan Love from Utah State. That's my guess. I think they're pretty high on him. Mm-hmm. And I think he has the it factor that Brian Flores has been looking for and talking about. I think they also see him as a young Patrick Mahomes, which is a massive mistake.
He does have a nice name, though.
No, it's a good quarterback name. It's a great name. But which is why I don't want Justin Herbert, because I keep thinking that's not a future star's name. It's just not. There is something about names. Tua. The great thing about Tua is it's like Madonna or Cher. It's just one name. You don't even need the Tagovailoa.
All right, what's the third pick?
All right, 26. look, you need your future running back. They did a good job in picking up Jordan Howard to be a veteran presence in that backfield, a good north-south runner. But now you need your future running back, and I think they start the run on running backs, and I think they take the best running back available in this draft, DeAndre Swift from Georgia, who is an absolute dual threat, total beast, and should be great for the next 5 to 6 years.
Fantastic. All right. So for me, I'm, as a Buffalo Bills fan, I think Clint I'm interested to see what he thinks, who he thinks the Bills are going to take in this draft. But I only did my first round. Not really first round, but these are the wide receivers that I've been kind of looking at. I've been doing a little research over a short period of time, just trying to figure out who we should go after, because like you said, I'm not a big college guy. I don't really care for college that much. I feel like these players, there's certain players that can come from college, make a huge immediate impact. And even people like Peyton Manning, who is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, he didn't make a huge immediate impact. Yeah. You saw his potential, but he threw a crap load of picks. Yeah. Just like his brother. Threw a crap load of picks. And but you can see the brain working. Like most rookie quarterbacks do not succeed. They do not do well their first year. Yeah. And that's where we kind of give Josh Allen a little bit of a pass, is because he kind of he's about a year and a half into his NFL career. And yes, he had shown some growth, not as much as I would like, particularly with the deep ball, but he hasn't had a big target to throw to either. He's got a bunch of small guys that he's throwing to. And this is where leads us into the actual draft. And there are some guys that are kind of on a lot of people's board when it comes to the Bills. And that's like Gabriel Davis. But he's 6'3", big body guy, he's probably one of my favorite guys for them to get, basically because he's willing to work and learn and gets better every year. Whereas because his issue is with route running right now. He's not a solid route runner because he didn't really have that, but he got better every year in college. And so that shows me that he's willing to learn and get better. So my feeling is, when you step on the field with a Cole Beasley and you step on the field with a Stephon Diggs, you can learn how to run better routes. And he's kind of a beast. And that's kind of what you need. You need a big body guy, 6'3", someone that can jump. And he's got all those assets. Now you have another guy like John Hightower. He's
great
6'3".
name. Great last name, by the way. Hightower.
And that's
come on. The police academy stuff is just right there for you.
He's very raw, but like he's fast. He's got a good vert. He's 6'3", and he could be available for them. So I would like to see the potential of him. So like, if I had to rate these guys, it would probably be like Hightower, maybe Gabriel Davis. Those two guys are kind of neck and neck for me. I have no idea even if either one of these guys are ranked. I have no idea. I don't know where they are. I don't know if they're looking at first, second round, but these are the guys that I've been looking at. Antonio Gandy, he's 6'4", from Liberty.
How about Brandon Ayuk?
I do not have him on my list, no. 20 touchdowns in the last 2 years. He did not have a good combine, which could make him fall, but he does have a huge catch radius. And he's a good route runner. So those are all good things. The problem with him is that he just doesn't have the physical assets right now. He's not a physical enough player from what I've seen, the few clips that I've kind of seen. And then the other guy is, and this is because Antonio Gandy's 6'4". So that's one of the reasons why. Huge catch radius. So that's a good thing. And then the last guy that I kind of looked at after searching for a little while was a Colin Johnson from Texas. He's 6'6". He's got some hamstring issues. He's probably going to be a later draft option, in my guess, because of the injury issues that he's had. He's not super fast, but he's 6'6". And if he can work on that speed and get a little bit faster, that could be a huge option. He could be something special if he can get a little faster. Because at 6'6", that's something. That is something right there. But the guys that I'm really looking at are Hightower, Gandy, and Davis. Those are the guys that I think that could be better impact players. Maybe not this year. I don't think any of these guys are going to be like big threats to like Stephon Diggs, because Stephon Diggs is a top 10, 12 receiver in the league. But that is a great guy to watch and follow and learn from. So, and then having Cole Beasley, who can run slots and runs good routes, I think that's another good guy to have. And to pick their brains as long as you're willing. And that's why I really liked Gabriel Davis. He's the smallest guy out of those three guys that I like. But still, he's 6'3", which is a decent size. And if he's willing to learn and willing to ask questions, that is a huge thing. So if any of these guys, I like all three. I really do. So those are the three guys that I really like. Colin Johnson's kind of that fourth guy that might be, maybe a flyer right down the road in the draft.
Wouldn't you love to see him trade up somehow and get a guy like a Jerry Jeudy or a Henry Ruggs?
See, I didn't even look early on. I didn't want to go into the top 10 because I knew that because I can't predict that they're going to do something like that.
Yeah. See, I don't think that
I don't know if they have what they need to be able to get there.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're
without hurting their team.
Well, see, here's the thing though, for the Bills. I mean, if you want to talk about striking while the iron is hot, this is your opportunity.
I want, you know me. I
Brady
like
and Gronk
success.
are gone. The Patriots are vulnerable.
I love long-term success though.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But why can't you have both? Why can't you be the odds-on favorite to win the East this year and have long-term success? You trade up and get a guy like a Ruggs or a Jerry Jeudy. I don't think
how do you get there?
First of all, so what's their pick? 21? So you package that.
Is it that late?
You just got to look at the charts. You package that, and you probably package a future first or second rounder or whatever. You could probably package your pick, and you maybe not even. It depends on how this
send it to the Jags.
But hold on, it depends on how the draft board starts to break down too, because as it turns out, you might be able to get a guy. And maybe that slides a little, like maybe say Ruggs or Jeudy slide, which I don't think happens. But what if it does? And what if you find yourself only having to move up like 5 slots into like the 16th pick? That's not going to cost you as much. It's not going to. It'll cost you your 21st, maybe even a future second rounder or this year's second rounder. But you could slide into that spot, get yourself, and then you've got Diggs, Beasley, and one of those two guys. Say, because even though my favorite receiver in this draft is CeeDee Lamb, that's not a good fit for the Bills because he's a slot guy. And they need they need their home run hitter.
Yeah.
And CeeDee Lamb
they just need a guy that Josh Allen can throw to deep because he doesn't have good accuracy deep. So they need somebody that can jump. And they tried to get a couple of guys that were tall, but they were on their way out of the NFL anyway. So
that's where Jeudy and Ruggs come in. So I think I think I would do that if I were the Bills. I would because that sets you up for future success too. Their team would be. Who's your running back? Keep forgetting. Oh, Devin Singletary. Well, who I like. And
there's another hole that they need to fill because he's a small guy. He is. He's kind of like your Drake that you used to have that they traded away and you were not happy about. He's kind of like that. He's a smaller guy. I'm nervous about him being able to handle the full load of a running back. So that's where they would need to get a veteran bully back a little bit. Someone like a Frank Gore, they need something like that to kind of help offset the load. They can't just pound the ball 23 times with him. Yeah. I think that he would be probably somewhere between a 10 to 14 game guy, and you might miss him in the playoffs because he gets hurt late or something because he just wears down. But I don't know. We'll see what his workout regimen has been over the season. Maybe put on 15 pounds of muscle. Who knows? We'll see. I'm anxious to see how they draft, mainly because they are close, and I'm excited for it. So I think that right now I'm looking at a first place in that division team. I think that the Jets are pretty good. I don't think they're good enough yet, but we'll see. We'll see what they do. And then I think your Dolphins are also something. Depending if they do get somebody like a Tua, I'll be happy because that means I think that for this year we're good. And we don't have to work.
If who gets it to it? The Dolphins?
If Dolphins, yeah. I'll be happy this year because I don't think he won't make a big impact this year. And
He won't make any impact this year. He'll be sitting behind Fitzpatrick.
Well, but how long? How long before the Boo Birds and the Tua chance?
Oh, it would.
It's
Yeah,
not going to be. But if it doesn't happen,
okay,
those ring
but if
true, and every young quarterback gets to start in their first season now.
But the bottom line is, even if Tua, but remember, he's still coming off this hip injury. So, but even if Tua does start this year, it would be at a time when the Dolphins season is already over for all intents and purposes.
Fitzpatrick is going to go like 2-4 in his first 6 games, and they're going to be just booing like crazy.
Oh, maybe, but at that point,
then they'll have to put him in.
But again, at that point, are you scared? Are you scared of a rookie?
No, I'm not. That's why I'm saying I'm happy about it. I'm happy either way. Like if they draft Tua, that's good news for the Bills and me, because that means there's going to be some growth. And even if they don't, that would make me even happier if they waited 10, 12, 14 games to put him in, because that means he's going to have another year where he's going to need growth. And that means his receiving core is going to get another year older. And that'll make me happy as well.
There are two quick NFL notes. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Tua, the Dolphins were actually one of the teams that passed him for the physical, which not really big news, but it's news nonetheless. And then the other one is Trent Williams, the premier left tackle from the Washington Redskins, apparently is pretty close to being traded, destination not known.
Really?
That's potentially big news, because whoever gets him now does not necessarily, especially if it's a team in the top 10, does not necessarily need to use one of those picks on a left tackle. Now, let me tell you this. Let me tell you something, brother. If it was the Dolphins that were picking, that somehow made a trade for Trent Williams, then I'd be really excited, because that means that first pick there's not going to be a lot. There's not going to be a left tackle with that first pick.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. All right, now let's quickly go over our review of the wonderful thing known as The Last Dance. I want to talk about this real quick. This is something that I absolutely found fascinating. I'm very... It's interesting the way that they're doing it. The first 2 episodes that have aired, they're very good. They're very intriguing to watch, because it's almost like watching a train wreck. But like, there's something else around it. Like, I'm not really sure what it is. There's some kind of aura around this show that there's nothing that's like great about it. There's a lot of, back and forth between like Jordan and Pippen and, what's the general manager's name?
Oh, Jerry Krause.
I was thinking Jerry. I kept thinking Jerry Jones. I'm like,
well, there's Jerry Reinsdorf and Jerry Krause.
Yeah. Reinsdorf. But I kept on thinking Jerry Jones, and I'm like, that's not his name. Jerry Krause. And the issues that they had with him and the way that he wanted to run the league. Run the team. And it was very interesting. Very interesting. I also liked hearing how like Reinsdorf was saying, like how he would like, he's like, no, don't sign that contract. Don't sign contract. He was basically telling his players, I wouldn't sign that contract. Like, that's too long. And he told that to Pippen. And Pippen was like, I have to protect my family. Yeah. And then he even told Jordan that before. And he kind of warns these players ahead of time. It might not be something I would do, but you do you kind of deal. Like, I thought it was very interesting to see how he did things. Also how much of the relationship between all of these guys, like you saw Jordan in his practices laying into people like Ron Harper, laying into Tony Kukoc. Tony Kukoc.
It was pretty great.
He's a guy, like, you would never have guessed that in a million years watching them play on the court. Like, you would have thought...
Come on, really?
No,
None of this surprised me in terms of that.
But, like, because how much they seem to love each other on the court, like, when they would, celebrate and, like, just run after Jordan to go pick him up. But, like, he just kind of berated them.
Because they knew he made them better.
Right, I know that.
Put rings on their fingers and money in their pockets.
I understand that, and I knew that he was hard on them in practice, but I didn't know to what extent. I mean, I knew he punched Kerr in the face. I've known that. I know that, he really laid into to Rodman a few times. And I think he's been very, very honest and open. during these interviews that he's been doing. He's very honest about Scottie Pippen, how he was selfish when he was at his broken foot. There is a lot of intrigue about this, but I haven't really seen anything yet that I'm kind of like, holy crap, that is astonishing. Like I've liked it. I've liked it and I've been sucked into it, but I can't say I've loved it.
Yeah,
I like the direction. Yeah. I like how they kind of go back and forth and they show things and
it jumps around quite a bit, but it works.
The way that they directed it, it works. The way they edited it works.
I'm very
but I definitely recommend people watching it because it's fascifascinating.
There's two
but
things,
not in a great way yet. But I feel like it's building. It's building. You can feel the build.
Oh yeah. Well, the cliffhanger.
I haven't even gotten to Rodman yet.
No, the cliffhanger here with Pippen is great because that's going to be episodes 3 and 4, probably 3, more so 3, because Pippen's contract situation. I find a couple of things pretty fascinating about this. One, it's weird to me that I'm so intrigued and into this, given one that I'm not even a Bulls fan, although I love Jordan. Mm-hmm. But I
did like the Bird interviews too.
And two,
those were great.
You know something Magic is of high quality and it's good and it's a viable watch when you are completely sucked into it and yet you know the outcome.
Yeah.
I mean, we know how this all ends.
Like the Titanic movie.
We all
knew what was going to happen, but we were all sucked in and it was an amazing film.
Yeah, I don't know about that's probably not the analogy I would have gone with.
That's a great film.
It's all right. I don't love Titanic. It's not one of my.
Oh my god, that
was
really amazing.
Never really did much for me. I mean, Billy Zane is fucking awesome.
How about Wolf of Wall Street? You knew how.
I still haven't watched Wolf of Wall Street. So don't shut your mouth because I actually have it and it's on my list. The other thing that's interesting is I knew that Jerry Krause was the kind of painted as the bad guy, but I didn't really know to this extent, like how bad it was.
Well, you could tell like the fractured relationship between them and the way that they berated him.
Yeah.
That didn't help.
Yeah. But here's what I don't understand. The thing that I still can't figure out, and why was Jerry Krause, should I say, in such a hurry to tear this thing down? Was his ego so big? Like is he like Belichick in the sense that I need to prove that I could do this without Tom Brady? Why is it that these GMs and coaches or GM/coaches, why can't they figure out that when you have a good thing, just keep going with it until the wheels fall off the wagon? And if it ends ugly, it ends ugly, but let it end on its terms, not yours. How did Jerry Krause, with the Bulls coming off their 5th championship, go to Phil Jackson and say, this is going to be your last season coming up?
Yeah.
How? How the fuck does that happen? I'm sorry. Listen, as a Spurs fan, I can
too
tell
expensive. I mean, that's the thing is that everybody's getting too expensive. I mean, when you have them guys. I mean,
but as a Spurs fan, let me tell you right now, when Greg Popovich leaves, it's not going to be because R.C. Buford went into his office and said, this is going to be your last year, Pop. It's going to be because Pop says, yeah, I'm done with this shit. I'm done. And that's when it will end. And look, and the Spurs are not a good team. They're not even a good team anymore. They're an average team now.
Right.
And yet, you hear any rumblings about that? No, because I think R.C. Buford probably knows that whenever the NBA comes back and whenever the Spurs can get their shit together, that Pop's going to be the guy he wants leading that charge.
Yeah.
And like I said, I never liked Phil Jackson, ever. I was never a Phil Jackson fan, but I would never push him out the door either.
Right.
Not when you had the thing that they had going. You had the best player on the planet. You had arguably at the time, the second best player on the planet, and certainly the most underpaid. And you wanted to break that up? Break it up. Man. Break it up. Let it break itself up. Let nature take its course. Don't force the issue. What if they could have won more?
They probably could have.
I would not have bet against them.
But there's also a point where like you gotta strike while the iron's hot. Like, okay, these guys are worth more than ever right now. I can get a lot for them.
Jerry Krause. I mean,
Yeah, it's tough. I mean,
let me tell you, if Jerry Krause had been more in the social media era, oh my God, he would have.
Well, I'll tell you right now. After watching
been the butt of every Twitter
after
joke.
watching this, I'm wait for the whole thing to complete, and then I'm gonna actually formulate my full opinion on Jerry Krause, because I think we both had him on the Mount Rushmore of head coaches.
Phil Jackson.
No, what? I mean, of GMs.
Head coach
Of
GMs. Did we do a Mount Rushmore of GMs?
Yeah, we did. Of the NBA GMs, yeah.
Oh, of NBA GM? We did?
Yeah.
God, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
What's interesting about this too, though,
and I don't know if I would continually put him on there because of this. Now, he did what he did, but how he did it and what he did to try and almost undermine himself and the organization, that throws a bit of a monkey wrench in there.
He let his ego play too big of a role.
Yes.
But if you watch this closely, he was also praised quite a bit too. They even said like this.
Yeah, no, he did a
the
great
guy
job.
did assemble a great roster.
He figured it out.
And he made I think, what was it? When it was Jordan was talking about, how much he loved Oakley, but he knew that getting rid of Oakley and trading him for Bill Cartwright was the right move.
Yeah.
And it was.
He understood.
He made a tough call, but in the long run, Jordan even knew they were going to be better for it.
Right. And that's where you have to check your ego at the door. When you start making right moves and then you overthink it to the point of where you think you're better than everybody else. Now, Jordan did that. He thought he was better than everybody else, but he even knew, and he even said, I couldn't have been where I was without Pippen.
Yeah, of course.
He said it.
Yeah.
And that's the truth.
Yeah.
Just like Bird probably couldn't have been there without McHale. And
LeBron couldn't have done it without Kyrie, at least, or and Shaq or Wade. Not Shaq. Sorry,
not Shaq, yeah.
Wade.
But Wade.
Wade and Bosh.
Yeah.
Couldn't have
like
done it
those
without
guys, you need that other guy. And that this year it would have been with Anthony Davis. You can't do it by yourself. And
what a shame that that's probably not going to play out.
I know. Makes me sad.
I feel bad for LeBron. I actually do.
Yeah, me too.
Which is not something I would normally say.
Right, but
it was weird. This is bizarre. I was kind of rooting for the Lakers this year, mostly because of Kobe.
I was for multiple reasons. One, because I'm a huge LeBron fan.
Yeah.
The issue that happened with Kobe and his untimely death, and then also because of the Ball brother. Lonzo Ball being traded away, and then them getting better.
Right. That would drive LeVar nuts.
Yeah, because if he made it and they won. That's just icing on the cake. That's all that is. It's just icing on the cake.
You know what I would have liked about it too, from the LeBron perspective, is that he would have then won a championship with 3 different teams, and he would have been the main guy. And that would have been a legacy thing that he would have that would have differentiated him from Kobe and Jordan.
Yeah, all over the place too. Midwest, East, and then West.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Middle Earth, left and right.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it with the worst named team, Cleveland, and then I'm gonna do it with a fun team in Miami, and then I'm gonna go all the way over west and do it with an iconic team in Los Angeles.
And what makes it incredible is that he's the centerpiece of all of it, though. Now, don't get me wrong. He has a future Hall of Famer in Wade, and maybe even a future Hall of Famer in Bosh in Miami. I mean, that was a heck of a triplet.
Yeah, that's unfortunate with Bosh's career,
but with Cleveland, I mean, yes, he had Kyrie, but let's be honest, the centerpiece was still LeBron, and he's clearly the centerpiece here in LA, even with Anthony Davis being there. So the common denominator, the tie that binds, is LeBron James. Mm-hmm. So even if he doesn't win as many as Jordan, and he won't. Most likely.
Not after this year.
This year could have
gotten him a chance.
Yeah, could have given him a shot. But if they can't get back on the court somehow, even if it's in front of nobody.
Unless he does something like a Shaq with with D Wade, and as he gets older, he teams up with somebody that's a lot better than him.
Well, if he pulls like a David Robinson and he gets a Tim Duncan.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. Right. That's possible.
Still putting up solid numbers, but not
right.
Hall of Fame numbers. And
not Hall of Fame numbers.
And he's gonna be great until he's 40. Not great, but he's gonna be great for his age. He's gonna be still a viable option.
He's gonna still be able to score 20 a game.
And he'll be able to bully his way to the basket.
There'll be
He'll able
load
to shoot.
management.
Yeah.
There'll be load management with him,
Yeah.
you know. And he'll be unleashed in the ball.
And
Now
he'll
I
be able
will
to
tell you,
pass. He's just still gonna be good.
that has been actually one of the things I really love too, is just the first part, these first two parts of The Last Dance, especially that first episode. Not that we ever needed a reminder about how great Michael Jordan was, but man, it's been fun to get that reminder. Just those, because he is just the ultimate sports human highlight reel. Mm-hmm. He really is. There's not
those jumps, and then like the second burst that comes.
Oh, he's unreal. And even I loved watching the North Carolina stuff too when they played Georgetown in the championship game. And you remember he's got 7 rings actually.
Yeah.
You know?
And then and it was even.
And he hit the game-winning shot in the national championship
game
as a
to
freshman.
See Bird talk about him. He was like, we didn't play a man that day. That was God.
A God
who
disguised.
went in as Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, as Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's been fun actually. I have enjoyed it so far, and I look forward to the next 8 episodes.
I'm looking very forward to the next several, because there's going to be an episode in there that's going to be a stinker. There's going to be an episode that's going to be bad, because it's just going to be I would assume that it usually happens. It happens in a lot of TV shows.
Yeah.
That there's always an episode that just kind of like, and then because they need a filler, but there's so much intrigue and aura around this team.
Yes.
And they haven't even gotten to Rodman yet.
Yes, which reminds me, how did this take so many years to see the light of day? All this footage they've had. How did this take so long?
They just waited for the right time. And this is the right time.
I mean, it certainly is right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing
no basketball
to
on
from it. Yeah. Very good. It's a really good, so far so good. It's off to a good start.
Cool. All right. That's pretty much it for our show. Thank you guys for watching today. We'll be back. 99% sure we'll be back for at least a 15-minute show on Friday to get Brian.
Don't you worry.
First reaction to the Dolphins and their debacle or awesome pick.
We'll get into that.
So
I am obligated to show up on Friday without
just real brief. Nothing long.
It can be long. It depends.
I'm homeschooling by myself Thursday, Friday. So it'll be like 15, 20 minute tops. And it'll probably be a little bit earlier than normal. So not a 10-ish, maybe like 9-ish. And it'll be like 9 to 9:20.
Clint, that's 6-ish for you.
Yeah. So we will probably get that in there. And then you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Shane and the Bryman. You can follow us on Twitter at Shane and Bryman. Follow me on Twitter at Einhorn
Follow me on Twitter at _Bry_man. Remember, part of the journey is the end, and stay classy, play the globe. Oh, and my final words for this. Tua, no matter what.
I like it. And then you can follow me on Insta at Happy McAvoy. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back on Friday for a very brief show to let the Bryman go crazy. You hear the clapping in the background? Yeah. And then hopefully they get Tua. See you later. Bye. Bye.